a vibration of healing energy is released to heal, relieve all pain, and remove symptoms of wellness or of illnesses. Each time a control points are pressed, there's an electrical spark. So that's what we're doing. VitaFlex is pad, tip, nail. So your pads of your fingers, the tip of your nail, pad, tip, and then your nail. Does that make sense? So you're going to be going pad, tip, and then over to your nail. I can do it on Tara's arm so you can see it going this way.
Rolling.
Yes, but pad, tip, nail. So this is amping, like doing an amping up, and I'm sending this up through electrical currents through the body. So this is like a charge that's going to be going. Does that make sense?
Here's all of our points. She's going to basically just be working on this part of the body, and that's the spine. The reason is because we're going to do this on the feet, and then we're going to go to the spine. The spine is what controls all of our nerves, you know, all of our body parts besides your brain, but these are going to go right to the brain.
Okay, so I'm holding it in this hand because I'm going to be doing VitaFlex with this hand. So I'm going to put my hand in here, cup it, roll it around. Sorry. Roll it around a few times, get some on here. I'm starting at the base of his heel. And I'm going to work up. Let me show him work up.
Yeah, so this is like the coccyx, which is the bottom of your spine, like your tailbone, and then she's going all the way up the spine. And so by triggering this, it's also going to kind of send impulses into the rest of the feet and then up into the spine. One of the things that I thought was most fascinating that we learned is by putting the oils kind of up into the body, you're basically, a lot of these sicknesses and illnesses and all of that are like a blocking in your energy that goes through your body. So we have all these different blocks. Say something is blocked in the, we need someone else. Crystal?
I can do it myself.
Okay, yeah. That would be better. I quit. No, but so that's what's so fascinating about the Raindrop, because you're literally making it possible to kind of clear those informational pathways, I think is how you describe it. Is that right, Trace?
Yes.
Like clearing the informational pathways, how the cells respond, how they communicate. And that's why I think sometimes you can get some really amazing success stories, because something will just break loose in the body.
So we always do 3 passes of everything. And you don't have to do it this fast, I'm just comfortable. Usually they want you like aligned with the body, but I mean you can go, you know, off to the side. And any extra oil that I have on my hand, I usually just give a little foot massage.
Rub it on the feet, yeah. I know what I'll do while you're doing that, because this is kind of like a long process where she just keeps VitaFlexing on the feet until we go to the spine. So I'll read like what each oil does, because I think that would be good for those that can't see it. So Valor is our balancing blend. They kind of call it the chiropractic oil, as far as it's really good for the bone and alignment and all of that. The oils that are in it are spruce, rosewood, blue tansy, frankincense, and coconut oil. It's gentle and soothing and balances the body's electricity. It stimulates spinal realignment, which is why they call it the chiropractic oil. It affects the limbic system, and it helps to improve one's self-image, enhances feelings of confidence, courage, and self-esteem. Contains esters, monoterpenes, and sesquiterpenes. Tracy, do you want to talk about that?
About the Valor or the PMS?
The mono, yeah.
The PMS, we learned it as PMS, and it's actually supposed to be PSM, but the sequence of oils that we use is actually, the P stands for phenols, and phenols scrub your receptor cells. Hi, I didn't see you. The phenols, the oils that have the most phenols would be oregano and thyme, and they go in and they scrub those receptor cells first, really, really good. And then the S stands for sesquiterpenes, and sesquiterpenes go in and they delete the gunk, the bad memories and things in your receptor cells. And then the M stands for monoterpenes, and those actually go in. And I just like to say that they kind of seal the deal. They protect your cells that are now clean.
Kind of a reprogramming too, I think.
Right.
What oil are you on now?
Oregano.
Okay, so oregano is magic. One of the most powerful antimicrobial essential oils. Research at Weber State University demonstrates 99% kill rate against in vitro colonies of Streptococcus pneumonia, high in phenylpropanoids, which cleanse cellular receptor sites. Young Living uses a very specific species of oregano. Oregano has a constituent in it called thymol, which is also found in thyme. Which I find this interesting. I had to put the thymus because that is actually what is in our body that helps us process all. It's like our immune system, right? Isn't the thymus like the one that is in control of our immune system and processing bad stuff, getting rid of it? Like, isn't that it? I was blown away when I did that in my research because I just thought, I wonder if God knew that when He gave us a thymus and He named a plant thyme, that they would probably both go together like a match. So I was like really excited about that. We take this in a capsule. I took it in a capsule. They have a Lyme bullet, which is, that's the thing with Lyme's disease. They say it's caused from a mosquito. I kind of wonder if it's connected to immunizations, all the chemicals, all the stress that's in your life. I mean, I think they call it Lyme's once the body kind of breaks down and they don't really know, what caused it. And it's not a very aggressive way that they diagnose it. But, so they have one with oregano, thieves, and frankincense, and that is taken in a capsule. A lot of people here have probably ingested that when you feel like you're starting to get strep throat or the flu or something, like they take her down. Next. What do you want?
I just did thyme.
Oops. Thyme is an antiseptic, immune enhancing, supports the body's natural defenses, has been used to combat the bacterium that causes anthrax, high in phenylpropanoids. Ooh, I got better at saying that. Phenol. Oh boy. Right now.
That's why I say phenols.
I want to say about thieves, for you that don't know it, it's in our starter kit. We don't use it in the Raindrop, but thieves, if you look online, you can actually see how it combats black mold. You can put a diffuser with black mold in it. Put your diffuser with some black mold. No, put it in a room with black mold and put thieves in your diffuser, and it will literally eat away at the black mold. It has also been used for MRSA, which, we're told there's nothing that can help MRSA. It does. It really does. Basil?
Basil.
Basil is relaxing to the voluntary and involuntary muscles, mentally energizing and invigorating. Used for tension headaches. I just had somebody recently that had a scan with basil on it. So it's used for tension headaches, can improve sense of taste and smell, and high in phenolic ethers. Are you guys smelling the oils yet?
No. Yeah.
If you leave here and you kind of feel like this, woo, just drive slow.
You do anyways, I just want you to know.
My sister was in on one that I had, and she was.
I was going 35 and a 50, I didn't even know I was going 35.
Am I driving? No, you do. It kind of goes to your head a little bit.
So other things you want to do, you want to keep a record of anybody that you do a Raindrop on. You want to have them tell you if at any time you're doing the Raindrop, they feel anything. I've had people, when I do basil, instantly say, I taste it in my mouth. Basil is known to affect taste buds.
Isn't that amazing?
So, I'm working on your feet, and you can taste it within minutes in your mouth. So, you know that these oils can move through.
Plus, it helps us learn about. I know when I had my first one, which is kind of interesting because I had 4 very big babies. I had a lot of problems with babies and all that. And so when I had my first Raindrop, and she did it on my back, and I know you're all going to think I'm crazy, but it's just my personal experience. I literally felt it once she put it on my spine, I felt it literally saturate around my uterus.
And I've had my sister-in-law
Really?
that has Lyme's. She said yes, she feels she felt pulsing and stuff, yes, in her uterus.
Us Limesies. What do they call them? Lime? There's a name for us. I love it. I just think, okay.
Did you have a question?
I have one question.
Yeah.
What do you do with, I'm terribly ticklish.
I said the same thing.
Well, I'm terribly
My
ticklish.
feet.
My son is, people don't like it, but seriously, after a few minutes, it does,
Okay.
it does
Usually,
go away.
well, and if you're ticklish, you can tell them you're ticklish, I would think, and use a harder pressure. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's not,
Yeah.
you're not, you know, tickling, you know, I mean, it is a. You laughed at the whole thing. I'm yours, baby.
We're all good over here,
And
okay?
it's white. Do you wait a certain period of time in between each one of the oils you're applying
No,
for effect, or just go through the
I just go through the series.
And it's funny because like even as she's doing it, each individual one, when she moves on to the next, I could smell the one before. So it's,
Your experience.
so you can kind of catch the wave.
Is that wintergreen?
The other thing, yeah, let's hear from this guy.
He says don't bother him.
I mean, you can have people fall asleep.
The oregano's
you know.
the worst. I hate the smell of it.
Yeah, he said he's ticklish too, but the pressure is as such that it's not bothering his feet.
I did a person, she said she cannot stand you to touch her feet. And I said, well, let's give it a try, and if we can't, then we'll just do your back. But I was able to do all the oils on her feet, and it's bother her.
And I think you get used to it as somebody's kind of. Okay, wintergreen, didn't we do that one or we did marjoram? Okay, wintergreen supports joints and skeletal structure. This oil has a cortisone-like effect in that it may stimulate the body's own production. This is important, it really is. Body's own production of natural cortisone, which does not have the side effects of synthetic cortisone. How exciting is that? There's probably lots of cortisones here. Has is that anas? Is that supposed to be anas?
Analgesic.
Who said it? Has what she said properties, as its chemical structure is similar to aspirin, and this is true. Wintergreen, they have said. So a lot of these medicines that people make, if you really do a lot of in-depth research, you're going to find that they're basically just copying it off of what is in nature. So yeah, wintergreen's a good guy. It's really good for bone. Like if you have arthritis, that kind of stuff, it's really good for that. Okay, we did marjoram. Are you on to cypress?
No, I'm on marjoram right now.
We don't do cypress, do we, on the feet? Okay, yeah, cypress. The back is my favorite part. Like the feet are kind of like, whew. But I really like the back. Don't you think the back's pretty exciting?
Yeah, but I think this,
It's all important.
and you'll see, like, I've done people where I have a lot of excess oil on my hands, like a
Yeah,
lot.
it's weird.
Like,
We won't mention names, but we talk about it.
but I mean, it's good to, you know, I mean, it was a person who hadn't used the oils before. So you may see that, you know, that they're not absorbing the oils because they have a lot of
You walk
toxins
away, you're like, I got a raindrop.
right. Kind of thing.
But I think the more they,
Yeah.
I really do, I had 5 raindrops once a month, and I also am a big believer in massage. I was also having a massage once a month too, because you put all these oils in, they're getting up there in the tissues. That's why we do the Epsom, the lemon water, it kind of keeps it moving through the body. But when it's in that tissue and you get a massage, it's gonna just work that, you know, all throughout the body and help it to kind of drive in and go deeper. Who doesn't love to go deeper? I do. Yeah.
May I ask how many drops you put in your hand?
I do 2 to 3 drops. And, you know the oils, so, you know, an extra one gets out, it's so deep.
You know I do. Okay. What are we on to?
Tara, are you feeling the oils over there?
You know I always act like this, don't I? This is not a joke. Unless I'm sleeping, like today. Dead to the world.
Okay, I'm doing peppermint now.
Peppermint supports digestive system. Anytime you have like acid reflux, belly aches, all that, peppermint's a big one. Also supports the respiratory system and nervous system, used for headaches. Lots of people know peppermints for headaches. Inhaling peppermint can improve concentration and mental retention. Detoxifying to the liver, which is why that's good for this you know. Synergistic oil that supports and improves the beneficial actions of the other oils used in conjunction with it. So, it's high in phenolics and contains 9% sesquiterpenes. Heather, why don't you tell us why peppermint is used in the Raindrop?
It's a sealer.
Yeah.
Seals
It,
everything.
we use it at the end because it literally drives the other oils in deeper. Peppermint just like, woo, push you down in there. Deeper.
What's my question?
Going deeper.
How
Yeah.
do you know which?
Like what order to put it in? Okay, so if you get the Raindrop kit, there's actually a little thing in there, and that's good information, because if you're gonna do a raindrop on somebody, you need to be reading, there's a really good in-depth thing in this book that talks about the raindrop. And then also in there, they also give you some information. And that's why I said to write down those websites, because then you can really, you know, kind of start doing, if you're wanting to do raindrops, you know, kind of do some more reading on it also. But yeah, you'll get that in a kit. If you don't get a kit, because you can buy the different oils, Heather buys them by the 15 mLs, right, the bigger ones, because she's doing a lot of raindrops. And then you wouldn't get it, but you'll find it in that book. Or we'll get you a copy. Heather might know how to get you one. Yes.
Okay, peppermint was good for acid reflux?
Yes. Any type of blockage and anything that's gunked up in there.
Yeah, it's great for like your sinuses and stuff and.
But the way I use it is I put it in
What?
a
Talking?
roller, diluted, because some people will just use it straight, I just think that's pointless. But, I mean, it's fine. There's a technique called layering. I'll put oils on me. I did it today. I put them on straight. No, I put it with carrier, but I will put oils on straight and then put carrier oil over it. You really should, in my opinion. I know, you got a peppermint obsession, so you might be, it's okay. You guys can do whatever you want,
They've
but,
always told me not to, because I have acid reflux bad, I've been on medicine for probably 8 years. They've always told me not to eat peppermint because it causes acid reflux.
okay, I'll get right back to that. Heather, do you want to explain what's going on?
I'm gonna have him flip over, whichever way is, if you wanna come with me, then I can. I'm gonna kinda take the sheet, so I'm not covering his feet up, but I'm gonna keep him covered. I'm just gonna take this, you wanna keep all.
Do I put my
Right.
arms down?
Yep, and you want the arms down at the side if possible. I did do a larger guy one time, and he was not comfortable with that, so he did hang his arms down here. But, I mean, in the training we had, they want your arms by your sides if possible. So, are you comfortable like that? Do you need a bolster under your feet?
Probably under my feet.
Okay. So this is a bolster. This just helps anybody that has pressure, can't lay flat, that kind of thing. Is that comfortable where it is? Okay. All right, so now we're gonna expose the back. We're gonna tuck it down a little bit, and then I want as far as I can go down. So I'm tucking that in there so I can see the whole back. And I usually just do a pass just to look at the back, make sure, yeah, it's a back.
They just say be really in tune with what you're working with, because you want to be able to make mental notes of things that may change, stuff like that.
Well, if they had a sore or something on their back, would you
Right.
not want to do it, or?
Well, I mean, you want to kind of stay away from that
Okay,
spot,
yeah.
or, don't drop direct
Right.
oils. I mean, if it was an open wound, or, that kind of thing.
Right.
A lot of times when I see the males, can you just relax? When you have them flip over, they are really, really tense. So, I mean, if you see that up here, you kind of want them just talk to them, help them relax. Are you comfortable?
Besides the 50 people.
Right. Can I have you move that?
Yeah. I was gonna say something. Oh, for
But
you.
move the stand over too, so it says that's too far away. Yeah, it's too far away. And that oil's next to me.
My job was so easy till this.
Yeah.
Alright, yes.
Oh, sugar.
Wait, I have a question though, so why don't we use that one on the feet?
So, yes, Crystal, I was gonna say that. We don't use aroma seeds on the feet. That is in the Raindrop kit. That's more like And you don't have to use it every time on the back either. This is like an optional one.
What is it?
It's the Aroma Seas. So like if they were muscle soreness or sore backs or pain, you know, you can use it, but you don't have to use it every single time. But we do not Vitaflex it into the feet.
You don't use the carrier oil on the feet either?
No. The carrier oil is, like if I was doing somebody that I knew was sensitive, I don't know, they talk about like redheads are sensitive, blondes, you know, somebody that says, okay, I've had a reaction to oils or anything like that, then yes, you can apply carrier oil to the spine, because that's where we're dropping the oils, that's where we're gonna be, you know, working, that kind of thing. We do fan out a little bit, but the oils don't spread all the way out to the side, so I would just use carrier oil here. And I would always have it on hand in case you were dropping something on and you wanna ask them, you know, do you, like, you know, the hot oils, the thyme, the oregano, or a little powdered peppermint, wintergreen, you know, do you feel uncomfortable? If they are toxic, you could see a flash of red down their spine also. And you would see that fairly quickly.
Some people freak out, oh my gosh, I'm allergic to the oils, and.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, something's hidden in the spine, you know, toxins are being released, so.
Which that's why for me personally, if I know I'm gonna work with somebody who's been on a lot of medications, they're, you know, like, you kinda have a knowing, then I personally would like, there's no rush, so why not use half the oils and then the next time, you know, I like to go a little slower. You know what I mean? Something doesn't work.
I'm gonna try it this way. I like the other side.
Backwards.
I know, I like being on the other side, but, okay. So, 6 to 8 inches you're gonna drop, depending on the length of the back, how many drops you do.
Oh, I wanted to go back to what you were saying about the acid reflux. What I would do is the
6 to 8 inches.
roller
Height, or-
bottle
Yes, from here.
with peppermint,
So always like 3 drops.
lemon,
Yeah.
lavender, and basil. So you're not like putting straight peppermint on there.
So, this is like a feathering technique, I'm using like the,
Flourage, right? Is that the
my
right
pads,
technical term?
and I'm just going up the spine just to spread the oils. So you do 3 passes, large, is what we call them.
This is where it gets fun. I know you guys are excited.
And this is not, you don't have to, this, you know, huh?
We do the same order.
Well, we don't do Valor right now, it's a different order. I mean, Valor will be later, and then, so, I mean, if you get an extra one in there, like I'm talking and I didn't count or whatever,
Yeah,
it's totally
it's
fine.
okay.
You're just trying to
won't
move the
get fired.
oil, yeah, up the spine.
We don't fire anyone actually, do we? We just think, no firing here.
Okay, so we did the thyme, yeah, DOT, sorry. The oregano we did first, and now we're doing thyme, and do 3 passes of each.
I think I love this so much because I think this is the most enjoyable part, don't you? Like the feet, it's kinda nice because it's, I don't know, people are not so uncomfortable with their feet, so it's like, okay, you're kinda working people into it, and then it just helps them to be more relaxed when you get to the back, and it feels really good. I don't know if did you talk about opening up the nerves, and that's why you're doing that? Okay, this technique right here, you know, you get goosebumps. Well, when you're doing this, you kinda get like a goosebump effect, and you're kinda opening up, the nerves and all that. So you're, you know, when you get goosebumps, it's like your nerves or whatever, like, woo, you know what I'm talking about. So,
So this is a piece of paper that we got from our class. This is just the technique, and then they do it in the other raindrops, you know, in the book, and shows you how. So this is just the technique, this is the fingers, I'm just spreading the oil out, doing 3 passes up the spine.
does it feel good?
Yeah.
It's just very relaxing. It's not like a deep tissue massage.
It's not, yeah, it's not a lot of pressure, it's very, very light, as light as you possibly can.
Now me, like when I do Jamie's, I kind of do different things, you know, like as far as if somebody has like something that's really achy or really sore, like I may personally just do like a little bit of a massage, knowing to kind of, you know, get the oils in there or whatever. We never call it a massage because that's where you get in trouble with massage therapists, because we're not trying to massage you. But that's where you don't get in trouble, because you're doing it on friends and family, and people that are sent to you from their friends and family.
The base of my spine
It's hot.
is hot and itchy. Which is fine, I'm just giving you feedback.
Is that regular
Because
Carrie?
people will, because people will run into stuff like that. when
Yeah.
they're doing it, so.
And which oil
So
is that?
this is just the carrier oil. Is it in this area right here?
Oh,
So
what
I
one did you
see,
just
I
do?
see a little red right here. So yes, so I just did thyme.
He's sensitive.
So you just wanna rub it in. Ask how it is now. Any better?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, you don't wanna burn anyone. I had that chemical burn and it was scary a little bit. Not that I think it wouldn't get that extreme with this.
So
Mine
do
was
you
like,
see where it is red right there?
yep, a little bit, just a teeny bit.
Now, if you have a scar, would it be sensitive on a scar?
I
'Cause
guess it
had
depends on
back,
how long ago it
I
healed.
had back surgery and my
You need
scar
to do
goes-
lavender and frankincense on your scar though, because you'll be amazed at how much it will heal up that scar and kinda,
It goes from, it's like halfway up my back and it's been 5 years and it's still a
we
little
might not
sensitive.
put it right on there, and if, I don't know, that would be something that we'd have to address kinda when we do it.
What about tattoos?
Tatters? That's what my little guy used to say, tatters. Heather?
No, I've had people like tattoos are fine.
Tatters.
Tatters.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Scoliosis, do you follow the curved spine?
Yes, I mean, you wanna stay, you know, when we do the other massage part, sorry, what did I say?
I did.
Okay, when you wanna stay on the outside, you never put pressure on the spine, so yes, you wanna work, you know, you're gonna follow, yes. And yes, that's,
You follow the curve of
Yeah,
the spine.
yeah.
Yeah, because you're not like trying to straighten people's bones. And I think doing this, which we didn't say this, but when we went to our class, they measured us before we got a raindrop, and then they're like, we're gonna measure you after. Everybody always almost grows 1/4 of an inch to up to an inch, and can even be a little bit more. So I was like, sure they do. And so I stood so tall and straight before mine, because I wanted to make sure, you know. And sure enough, I still grew. I don't know. So I mean, I tried to be as tall as I could before the raindrop. Couldn't get up there any taller. And I still grew. And it's because our spines are so compressed, you know, like we're walking, the way we sit, you know. So when you have this, it loosens you up so much that without even knowing it, you stand up and there you are.
okay, so we started with oregano thyme, okay, those two, and we did the 3 passes, just the feather, and then we did the straight out, hands, and then a feather up and out. And then we go on
We call them the
to-
angel just because it
Yeah.
makes it easier to remember.
And then we go on to the next 3, which are basil, wintergreen, and marjoram, okay? So then we're doing a pass with those 3. So dropping the 3 on, doing the feathering on all 3 of those, and then we're gonna go on to this, then we'll go on to another technique, okay?
So whoever can write all this out on a piece of paper when we're done, that's who wins the raindrop kit.
I got it on my, I can write it
I'm
right
pretty sure
now.
Tracy will take it.
I can just print it right up for you.
I brought my notes.
I wouldn't even be able to do it. I still have to use my cheat sheet. Who has those little papers, by the way? It's almost that time.
Your son did.
So when I'm doing this, just to keep track, I kind of leave the oil that I'm on out, so I know that's the one I'm
Yes,
using.
that's important.
You don't wanna,
Sometimes I'm like, ooh, did I do
I know.
wintergreen? Wintergreen again. And then you just kind of like do a little last wintergreen because you're not sure if you already did wintergreen. You don't want them to be without wintergreen, but you don't want them to have too much wintergreen.
Okay, so we did the feathering with the basil, the wintergreen, and marjoram. Now we're gonna do a finger circle. So I'm gonna do a little cup like this and rest my palms here. I'm gonna pull the spine a little bit, not putting pressure on the spine, but I'm pulling the skin away from the spine. And then I'm just gonna finger circle. You can do 3 circles. In our class, you know, they said you can keep moving up like this. And a technique, you can do that, or you can just do 3 and move, 3 and move, 3 and move. So you wanna work that neck up there too. So now I'm gonna go to the other side, so I will touch while I walk around. You don't wanna reach across, so I'm gonna start at the bottom.
Another reason you have to keep contact all the time is these oils are very, very powerful, and they actually can cause you to have an emotional release. Okay, because something inside of you is coming to surface with whatever oil is doing that. That's between you and the Lord, but you could have an emotional release, and it's amazing. So we always want to make sure we're there for you. We never leave you.
So that being said, when Heather does my raindrops sometimes, I laugh like real hard. Didn't I?
So funny.
And then she starts laughing, and I don't think it's anything to be like, ooh, this is weird, like, just go with it.
No, she just.
I never had like a breakdown where I was bawling or anything like that, so I don't want to scare any of you guys. Like, I think you just feel so relaxed and you just kind of feel whatever. So don't tell me any jokes when I get a raindrop.
And it's important to know that if you're having a raindrop done on you, don't stifle anything. If you have to cough, cough. You know what I mean? It's important not to stifle anything. If you need to talk, talk. Because that might be part of an emotional release or something, and you don't ever, ever want to stifle that. It's not healthy.
Yeah, that's true, and I remember actually when I was getting mine, I kind of felt like that little kid in 6th grade, where it's like, ooh, you're talking and laughing in class, and you're supposed to shut up, you know? So I kind of felt that when I was like laughing, and I was like, I don't know what's going on, and then she's laughing, and it was just like, okay, whatever, you know? But that was like one of my, or maybe all 5 of my raindrops, no. I think it was just a couple of them, but me and her kind of were going, we talk back and forth, like he's not talking, he's just receiving and, you know. But if I told him a joke, he would laugh. He's sleeping, he wants to be left alone.
So when you're doing it, I mean, like this part, you're feeling, you know, the back. I mean, if you feel a knot or they say there's a knot, you know, I mean, work that spot a little bit. Which is totally fine. I mean, that's what, you know, you're pulling it away. You're feeling that, so. All right, so we did that. So this time, we could do, after the finger circles, this is when you could do the aroma C's. So we'll do that. So we're going to do the feathering with it. So you would still do the feathering, even though we did the other 3 and we're done. And then this would just be one pass with the finger circles.
Pretty good fleur, that technique right there. It's an actual massage technique. They call it fleurage, F-L-E-U, I think it's French, right? I've never been good with French. Do you guys care if I take a picture? Does anyone care? Are they gonna get real weird about it?
The 3 feathers up in just one.
Yeah.
I might
And
get
then pass circle.
I don't care. I should say.
We got you on Facebook.
And so the amount of pressure that you're putting on this when you do the finger circles is totally, you know, I mean, you don't want to do it too light, you don't want to do it too hard, but just listen to the person that you're doing it on. And if they're,
Oh, yeah. What is the thing about the back, too? Somebody has to have it done backwards. Some people that you work with,
With spinal injuries.
yeah. What does backwards mean?
Start top to the bottom, like if they can't.
So if you've had, say, cervical fusions or lower back fusions, what would you
I was just
recommend?
thinking if you were like in a wheelchair or you couldn't, you can totally do the raindrops sitting up, you know, like you are unable to, you know,
Like a chair massage?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. They have massage tables that, like this, I think that somebody had, didn't she have, that you could sit up and do like on a pregnant person, you
Yep.
know, like their belly could go in and that.
If you got a big old belly,
You
you're
don't
not gonna be
say
able
do it
to
on
lay down.
pregnant,
So
so
you
you
can straddle a chair
Have we
Are
done?
we really saying it on pregnant
No. I was just saying there was a
Massage
massage
table.
table with that.
people? Okay.
Don't get riled, don't get all riled up.
Alright, so we're on cypress.
Leave that to the gentle baby book.
And cypress, you sprinkle it in like a salt shaker, okay?
Almost done, by the way.
This is backwards for me, so I'm gonna go to the other side so I can sprinkle.
Cypress is lovely.
Like
It
that.
takes care of this, like. The last Raindrop class had a big old breakout. I thought, they're not gonna take me serious if I talk about how amazing my oils are, but now, they're not there. It's amazing.
That's just the technique that they showed us to do. Did they explain why we sprinkle? Just spread it?
Probably did.
Because well,
It's like a sprinkle with the
because
raindrops.
the next techniques we're gonna be doing is more of a massage technique. So I'm thinking your oil is gonna be, you want it spread a little further.
And the
Yeah.
cypress is more for muscles.
Yeah.
And it's also a gentler oil, so where you can use it a little more liberally. I really work on my pronunciation now that I do this sort of thing.
Okay, so this is the thumb Vitaflex. This is tricky. You can either do it from this way up, so this is the one you can go this way down, okay? So I'm gonna take both my thumbs and my hands out on his spine, and I'm going to kind of put them like this, and I'm gonna roll them up and put a little bit of pressure, but not on the spine.
And yes, if you have people with like really bad back issues, because I did a raindrop on someone that had really bad back issues, and I was always asking, is this okay, is this too much? And the whole time they were like, no, it's fine, and then the next day they were like in excruciating pain. They've since went on to be better, I think. But, you know, and sometimes you just have to hear people out as far as, ooh, well, sorry, you know, but, I mean, the whole time I was constantly asking and stuff like that, but if, just going into it, knowing if you have somebody who has chronic back pain, make it more about putting the oils on and doing gentler technique, because as you work with them more and more, you can give it to them a little better, you know, get in there.